Our main speaker for today is Mr. Libay. Sir, ready na kao?
Again, good morning. So, it's just loosen up medyo intense atong mga background, but my idea of this webinar is to make it customizable as much as possible. So if you are participants, don't get intimidated to comment, ask your questions, ask questions as many as you want, and we'll try to consolidate those questions and we'll try to answer. Right. So again, welcome to this very first episode of the Magento 2 introduction series. What we're gonna do today is I'm going to show you why for more than a decade I choose Magento as a primary platform that I work on as a web developer. And on top of that, I'm going to show you how to start a freelance career out of it, where to start, what are the things you need to learn, and where to get and win your first ever client as a Magento engineer, right? So if you are a person who just started, I mean, if you're a person who lost the job during this pandemic, if you're a person who just graduated and a bit confused about where to start, and if you are a business owner and you want to utilize digital solutions to save your business from the effect of this pandemic, or perhaps you're a person who's getting tired of your current job because apparently you spend most of your time in it, and you're aiming for a financial freedom. So this webinar is just right for you. So most of the time I will show you how to run Magento 2, aside from why you need to use Magento 2. Hold on a second. I will show you how to set up my local environment, and this is not the kind of tutorial that you can see online that if you want to learn Magento, you can just simply search in Google and how to start Magento. And there are a lot of information. Again, there's a lot of information out there. Here, I will tell you exactly what I'm using, what in a daily basis, why I use it, why it is required to use it if you're a web development agency, and as for starter, why you need to skip all of those unnecessary stuff and jump right working into the right tools. Right? We'll be also talking about the kind of services that will be used in Magento. So Magento is not just the pure, it's not like WordPress that you can just download, set up, and that's it. That's why a lot of people making, there are lots of complaints from other people that Magento is slow, Magento is huge for your business. The reason for that is they don't actually know how to utilize Magento, and they don't know what are the tools should Magento associated with. So by the end of this talk, we'll show you why we use Warden. We will discuss about Docker. We will discuss about PHP Storm, plugins of Magento, best practices, command lines, and of course the file structure, right? So, but first, before we jump to actual coding or setting it up, I was just gonna say something why we need for business, like for a, if you're a business owner, I will tell you exactly why you need to embrace digital solutions for your business, and what are the other platforms for e-commerce in the market, and why Magento stands out, right? The most stands out the most of them, right? So let me just share. Can you share the screen? Right, let me share the screen. Build online store using Magento. First of all, Magento was solely designed for e-commerce solutions and officially started way back 2007. That's about 13 years ago. And 2 years ago, Adobe Incorporated acquired Magento. Adobe was known for graphic designing and multimedia products. Once dominated the web through its product Adobe Flash Player, until Steve Jobs made a publication that ends its era. So among other problems like security, page speed, Steve Jobs made a publication saying that the web should not be dependent on one single company, which encourages other developers to enhance CSS, HTML, JavaScript, which brings to the kind of what kind of website we're using right now. So, but enough with the history. I will let's take a look in the numbers of Magento, right? So let me just change my share screen. So this is the number of Magento. So hosting tribunal, this is a hosting company. So if you run a website, there's a hosting company behind it. What was that? Thank you. So this is Magento. So in all over internet transactions, Magento powers only 1%, but it's small, but relatively small. But considering the kind of billions of websites running in the internet, Magento still able to get 1%, which is a good thing. So let's not focus on that one. Oh, where's the infographics? So most of Magento usage are based on the US. So most of my clients are in US, Australia, and New Zealand, and we have Japan as a freelance developer. And so, well, we try to differentiate Magento over Shopify or WordPress. I will talk about that in a bit. And also, all right, there. Okay. So Magento ecommerce. Hold on a sec. So this is Magento beta targets. If you for your referral, you can always replay this video and go to this website and to read more. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time in it. All right. Volume up. But I'm not gonna spend a lot of time in it. So we're here to show you Magento. So for fundamentals information, you just go to this website. And also I would like to show you this website. The trends of Magento for every country. So right now in the Philippines, see you see 80,000. That means 80,000 business store, online store is currently running in the United States. 15,000 in the United Kingdom and other countries. In the Philippines, we only have 138. So in Sticadu, the company that I founded, we are a digital web development company who solely focus on building e-commerce solution here in the Philippines. And we're kind of hoping that this number, mataas pa here in the Philippines. But I think it's just a matter of time for business owners, since we already have legislators working in our like Internet Transaction Act and other recommendations from other legislator. So in the Philippines, we already see the effect of the pandemic, or not having an online store during the pandemic, and one by one um, business business owner try to transition to digital solutions, and mostly they use Shopify because it's easy to use. But I will tell you exactly why why for your business. I'm not saying Shopify is bad, but I'm just saying that you should plan first your application before you start building it, before you start using it, because you might be one of those people who got a problem like they've been using this kind of platform for almost for quite some time, but by the end of the day, they find out that they need to migrate into a bigger platform. That's why if you're a business owner, you want to create an online store, I will tell you exactly why Magento is good for you. And so let's go back to our so share screen. Share screen. Okay. Um, well, as a web developer, I got 5 reasons to choose Magento over other e-commerce platform like WooCommerce, like Shopify, right? So first, flexibility. Okay, this is a very common problem for business owner from different countries, location in the world. Let's say, for instance, in your country, you only have this kind of law that only accommodates your country. So if you go in Shopify, and that feature is not available, you won't be able to upgrade or to enhance your current store in order to um, achieve your goal, because Shopify is not open source. Uh, you know, other reason for flexibility is that Magento, if you want to speed up Magento, if there are a lot of traffic coming in your website, there are a lot of orders in your website, you can always scale up your server, install necessary plugins for marketing, upgrade, and all that kind of stuff. And also, other reason for using a Magento is scalability. That is very important in business point of view, and also in developers. In business, as I was saying that um, your goal right now is to set up an online store, but you don't have any, you're not seeing the plans in the future. Let's say, for instance, you have an online store started with Shopify, and then uh, your business get expanded. There's another warehouse, uh, and you want this complex shipping calculation, and you cannot do that in Shopify. Shopify, you cannot tell Shopify, hey Shopify, can you build this kind of feature for me, just for me? You can do that, right? In Magento, you can always scale, or you can always add new feature because it's open source. And I will tell you exactly the same for WooCommerce. I will tell you exactly why I choose personal Magento for WooCommerce in a bit. All right, so control. If you want to migrate to another server, if you want to um, divide your database, if you want to install a new service or a platform, because internet is more like a living organism, right? It keeps evolving. So keeps evolving, and there are a lot of upgrades every day. If you have your website right now and you're not able to upgrade in the future, your software or your store will start to become obsolete. So that will be a problem in the future. If you don't plan your what you're trying to build right now, you will be having a problem in the future. That's why in Upwork or in the online jobs, there are people who wants a developer to hire to migrate from Shopify to Magento, from WordPress to Magento. So that happens a lot. I get a lot of offers for that particular job. And yeah, aside from control, we have, of course, B2B, which is kind of the edge of Magento over other platforms. So nowadays, the world of e-commerce is always expanding, as I mentioned earlier. And um, most B2B transactions are moving to online platforms. Thus, when orders are processed digitally, B2B e-commerce sites need a strong and secure platform to ramp up sales. Um, Fortunately, Magento earns that reputation that for B2B feature over other platforms. So out of the box, Magento out of the box, we already have a B2B feature. And so Magento, as saying, it is the go-to option for B2B companies when you want to choose convenient and secure website builder that meets all the requirements such as e-commerce integration or automated wholesale portal. So that's B2B. And last will be innovation. Let's say you want, if you already have a perfectly running Magento store, you want to create another platform out of it, like to make a life easier for other business owners and utilize it to gain more profit. So you can do that in Magento over other platforms like Shopify because you don't have control. Because in Magento you have control, so you can always create. You can build a different system from Magento. Let's say you want to integrate it into an app or a PWA or a game, or you want to build a sophisticated inventory system that is not that is an enhancement of Magento too. So like for instance, in our case, we kind of create a marketplace as our response to this pandemic. So we created a marketplace for small businesses. So because building e-commerce website is, especially for Magento, is really expensive. For e-commerce enterprise, you cannot get. So there are different kind of version of Magento. There's the community, which is the open source. There's um, uh, uh, the limited edition, enterprise edition. There's a cloud version of it, and for enterprise edition, you can easily download it. Or if your business is not earning $2 million, or I'm not sure, a year, you cannot use Magento Enterprise. So for those, if you see those Magento in the website that I shown you, those are perhaps 50% of it are using enterprise edition of Magento. So big companies are into Magento, small companies are into Shopify and WooCommerce. So fundamentally, Magento is the winner. And so, and in addition to that, why I choose Magento developer personally over WooCommerce if they are both open source. Well, one is a personal preference. WooCommerce or is a plugin of WordPress, which is WordPress was solely built originally built for blogging or content management system, and we have WooCommerce, which is a plugin who enable the e-commerce feature. Personally, Magento, I use it because Magento was solely built for e-commerce feature. That's why that's how Magento was designed. So for the past more than a decade, Magento is in the e-commerce business, while WordPress or e-commerce is not. WooCommerce, I think, started around, uh, I'm not sure, 2012, perhaps. So not really sure. So, and in the developer's point of view, the architecture, the framework, um, the modular structure of Magento will um, score higher over WordPress. So if I am a developer, I would prefer to choose Magento, programming wise, system wise, which is Magento. So that's why, and also as a freelance, yes, there are a lot of people, WordPress. So which is market wise, I would just open Magento. So um, 6-digit career with Magento. Yes, I started Magento solely accepting Magento projects. Started 2015. I know Magento since 2011, but I've been trying a different kind of platform as a starter in development industry. But since 2015, I focused my energy only accept Magento project or Magento 2 project. So, well, yes, I've been a freelance developer for almost a decade now. Well, still a lot of things to learn, but hey, if I had a chance to go back 10 years from now, I would not spend time studying WordPress, Codeigniter, Laravel, and other framework or programming technology out there. I would jump right away to study Magento. I would jump right away to study Magento if I know I would be getting uh, this kind of figure a month. I'm not saying uh, 6-digit figure for a certain period of time, but a six-figure income every month until you you stop getting clients or you resign from your company. So that's the kind of figure we're looking for as a Magento uh, engineer. So if I know that I can earn that kind of figure, I would jump right into it, and I will focus my energy to learn and utilize Magento. Um, this is not to brag again. This is not to brag, but to inspire. I could keep it to myself, but I choose to spend time preparing technology talk in this webinar for free. And I'm not a camera guy. I'm not a YouTuber, but we have this value in Scinettek organization that educational information should be free. So that's why we're here. And so why Magento developer are expensive? Well, it's more on supply and demand. Like if you're, as I was saying earlier, if you're WordPress, if you're a web developer in general, where a lot of people can do what you can, you get a small percentage of the market share. So it is a business. However, if you specialize in something, it narrows down your market, right? I'm not saying there are only few people who can do Magento development, but Magento has a steep learning curve due to its complex infrastructure, complex but robust. That's why it tends to scare or intimidate other developers to try Magento, and started to get when you start um, Magento learning Magento with a guide, with a proper guide. It's kind of boring because for starter you don't. It's not the typical PHP programming that you can easily trace. You cannot do that in Magento without proper tools. So without proper guide, learning Magento will surely make make you pull your hair, right? So for those who have intense experience in programming, especially in PHP language, I could say you will be able to learn Magento in a month. Yes, that's right. With a proper guide, uh, uh, not in Google University, yet not in YouTube University, direct blueprint, proper guide in learning Magento, you will be able to get it or learn it or utilize, make money out of it in a month, right? If you are a fresh starter, but you know a little bit of programming, perhaps you're an IT or computer science graduate, I would say you will be able to learn Magento in 3 months, right? If you don't have any experience at all, like um, uh, like like you graduated into different professions, or you lost your job, you're working in the government, and you didn't know any programming at all. Uh, well, there are several things you can do. Well, one is, of course, learn programming. Why not? Programming is not that hard as you might think. If a lot of people can do it, then it's not that hard, right? So kung naka-classmates sa una na aptics sa programming and mga tana ka, magpa-nerd-nerd tayo, you can do exactly what you can. All you need to do is to be resourceful, of course, and you have to be interested in it for you to easily learn it. So by learning programming and Magento at the same time, I would say you need 6 months tops, right? But if not a uh, you're not into programming, let's say um, you don't really like programming, Magento is not only for developers or for programmers. We have um, virtual assistants. We have Magento ICO for Magento. We have marketing for Magento. So let me just pull some page here. So Magento has a lot of certification. There is professional developer certification, expert developer certification, architect certification, cloud certification, and also we have Adobe Certified Expert Magento Commerce Business Practitioner. This is for um, uh, virtual assistants. Like, let's say you're good, you're not good in programming, you're not good in SEO, you're not into marketing. You just want to help. You want to be a virtual assistant. This kind of certification is for you. Though this is a one whole thing package. So um, existing e-commerce, I mean Magento store out there requires people to manage. It cannot be managed by one person like Shopify or WooCommerce. Um, that's why Magento out of the box, it is equipped with different kind of um, user privileges. Like we have the sales user, we have administrator users, you have content management users. So all you need to do is to learn Magento, how to use it, the product itself. It's like learning new phone. You need to specifically you need to learn how to manage products, add products, input products, those attribute products, different kind of products for different situations. Let's say, for instance, you want to sell a product that there are a lot of variation. You should be able to know on how to configure Magento for that kind of situation. And also, if you need Magento, a business owner also needs people who can fulfill orders, manage sales, generate report, and configure payment method, shipping method, and all that kind of stuff. So um, basically, you're a user, an admin user of Magento. So those are for virtual assistant job. And this certification here is kind of a package. If you only know virtual assistant, you cannot take this because it requires you to know um, marketing and SEO of Magento. So uh, that's why Magento. What this is one of the reasons why Magento is expensive because so you can read this one. but I'm not making it to. Okay. Back to our presentation. So this is the reason. These are the reason why Magento developer or user or virtual assistants are expensive. So aside from narrowed or specific market, Magento with certification, which will boost your name, your brand. If if you're doing freelancing, use your name as your brand. So um, that's the reason why. So um, then there are two types of freelancing in Magento. One is just put a text here. One is you have the, your name as a brand. This is a one type. If you go freelancing, this is how you get clients or how you can earn money using Magento. You can do freelancing with, with you as a brand. Like you handle all the clients' pitches, you handle all the clients' application, and you manage clients' projects and you implement the actual project. So for 2 years, that's what I've been doing. So it's like I'm a business. Uh, it's like I'm running a business. That's only one man business, but this is one step closer if you're planning to create your own startup for web development or digital marketing agency. So this is one step. Um, what I my strategy for this is if I say so, where do I get clients? So mostly from Upwork and LinkedIn. But as a starter, I guess you need to do online jobs and uh, online jobs.ph, I think. And yeah, I think that's you need to actually apply like a regular employee. But if you really make a if you already establish your name, you don't need to apply to get the clients. You only need to offer to the client. So in this kind of freelance, you offer you offer solution to the client. So let's say in Upwork, there's a client post that I need as a developer. I need some people who can fix some error or install some extension or integrate my Magento store into something. Um, I don't need to push myself to the client. I don't need to say, hey, I have 4 year experience in Magento. I am a graduate of computer science or something like that. That's why um, for people who already have a programming experience, learning Magento will only takes month, just only learning. Getting clients is just um, the next step, but it won't take long because even though you don't have enough experience in building uh, Magento project in production, once you do this kind of freelancing, your name as a brand, you offer the solution to the client. So it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you came from. The client, what's matter the most is you have the actual solution for the client. Let's say for the client, um, there's a bug or an error in their store, but you know the exact solution on how to fix it. So you write to the client, you don't say anything about yourself, you tell the client what to do and what would be the possible problem and what would be the possible solution. So that's how I pitch to the client. So if a client say, I have a broken banner or email is now working in my e-commerce store. So I I ask a few questions about what kind of store the client is running, and I offer, in my experience, I offer the possibility why email is not working in the client's store. So that way, it doesn't matter if I have intense experience in Magento. The clients really knows that I have solution. So that is how your pitch will matter, and your communication skills to the client will matter. So uh, I think our EO specialist will be able to teach you on how to do that. But if this is the kind of freelancing you do, your name as a brand, you don't have any boss, or you're not employed to anyone. You are the boss of your own brand. So in general, what you offer is a service, a solution to the client. So it doesn't matter who you are, right? Another type of um, freelancing in Magento is a home-based contractor. Um, so there are pros and cons in this. If you do this kind of freelancing, first, you need to abide on your employees. I mean, your clients or companies. Um, we call this one um, uh, laws or rules, right? But the good thing is you will be part of a bigger team, yeah, right? You will learn how to be a team player. You will learn a lot of stuff from your colleagues, uh, which is a good thing if you're just a starter. So if you're a starter, I would not recommend this one. I would not recommend, but if you have like you don't really have experience in programming at all, but if you are fresh in programming and you're fresh in Magento, become a home-based contractor, become a Magento developer, a virtual assistant as a contractor to a larger company. Don't settle in a company that use you. If you spend a lot, 8 hours most of your time in that company, and you don't have enough time for your family, you don't have enough time to uh, uh, for whatever kind of work you want. Uh, get out and find another client. So this is a good thing because most of the thing that I learned from here that will show you from the local environment, the technology that we use, I learned it from um, a huge company that solely develop Magento projects. So there are like 10 people. Uh, for each project, there are two senior um, engineer and one associate engineer, and there's a different team for front end development, there's another team for QI, there's another team for project management. So here you can so the advantage is you'll be part of a larger team. That's the pros in it. That's the positive side of being a home-based contractor, right? And still you can if you already have if you establish your name in LinkedIn, you create your profile saying that you already have experience in Magento, recruiter will start coming at you. So you're not the one who will beg for employees to employ you, right? People will come at you offering you position to your company, offering you this kind of figure, and you can start playing, uh, playing that well, this kind of offer, I like this offer, the other company make this offer, so can you make an offer like this? So that that is a leverage for you to demand a higher salary rate. So this is one good thing for home-based contractor. So far in my experience, I've been doing freelancing. uh, um, my name as a brand. So one good thing from this is, but both of freelancing strategy is you get financial freedom. Okay, here you can work uh, on your own time. In here, you don't have to work yourself 8 hours to fix a problem in your website, in your client's website, because you have a team. There's a actual process on who's gonna fix this and who's not, right? So both of them, if you use this kind of freelancing strategy, uh, you will be able to achieve uh, free time. You will spend a lot of time in your family, in your children, and you'll have enough time to learn something new, or perhaps become a content creator, just like what we're doing, or volunteer yourself in building applications to make the world a better place. So, so you don't have to work 8 hours a day. If you do that, then there's something wrong about it. So consider this one. Consider this freelancing uh, type, or different type of freelancing in Magento. All right, I think that's all for the fundamentals of Magento. So right now we're gonna jump on how I set up my local environment, what kind of tools I'm using. So hold on a sec. Share my screen, the whole desktop. Right, so so what we're gonna do first is we're going to set up Magento 2. We're gonna discuss the Magento 2 directory structure, choosing the development directory, and introduce you to CLI and other things like, um, if we still have time, we'll be able to discuss the um, creating a module, creating a theme, and best practices. What is plugin? What is service contract? Um, uh, a lot of things, right? So let me jump right to my terminal. So as a starter, if you want to install a fresh Magento, um, I would like to save first my local environment. So for my local environment, I'm not just using the pure SAMP or LAMP. By the way, I'm on Mac environment, so if you're working Magento, I would actually prefer to use Mac or Linux computer. And, and by the way, if you're trying to do freelancing and you don't have any computer, or you don't have any machines to use, Department of Information and Communication Technology has a laboratory in in their office that you can actually use if you want to do freelancing, but you don't have any computer. So that lab is created for people in your city. Let's say in Surigao City, we have office in the ICT sa Cascag. So you can go there with a hand machine. If you want to start freelancing, you can go there. You can ask Mr. Bacolod that, hey, you want to use the a unit in their lab for your freelance. So that's free. But in the new normal, there will be some kind of rules and regulations, of course, that's necessary. So again, it's not a dead end for you if you don't have any computer, if you don't have any hardware to start freelancing. The government provides solution for that. So you go to the ICT, inquire for more information. So again, I'm using Mac. If you, I would recommend personally using Mac and Linux. It's either Ubuntu or Fedora. And for Windows user, uh, you won't be able to use, I think, Warden. Warden is the tools that I'm using to manage my Dockers containers, to set up my local environment, and I will tell you exactly what are those terms. And uh, for Windows, what I can recommend is called Valley Plus, right? So it's more like a lamp. Originally, it is built for Laravel. Uh, WordPress, GitHub. Nope, nope, nope. Try. Hold on a sec. Valid class, valid class. Get up. There we go. So we can do this. Valid class already equipped with necessary tools you use to set up your local environment, like Nginx, Elasticsearch, Varnish. Those are necessary services in Magento. So if you want to start learning Magento, you can always go to their dev site or install the pure, Magento. But that's not that's not the case in live projects or real world projects. So you need necessary tools. The good advantage of this Val Plus compared to LAM or SAM, you can always switch PHP version for different kind of projects, and you can always switch different version for different kind for every services. And yeah, so but the problem of this is you cannot set up different kind of configuration or install other services solely for a single project. Let's say you're in your computer, you're a developer, you're working on a different kind of project. So, and each project has different specification in the server. So this way, it's not a good solution. That's why I use Docker. So Docker, I mimic the specification of the server. So to eliminate the problem, like it's working in my local machine, but it's not working in the live server. So that kind of problem, it eliminates that. It solves that. So I use Docker containers. So what we're gonna do is go to Warden.dev. So this is the tools that I use to set up my local environment. And you go to Warden documentation, and you go to environments. And Warden is not for Magento tool only. It's for other platform. I mean framework. We have Laravel, the Symfony. I don't know this. We have Magento 1, which is the older version of Magento. And so we're going to use Magento 2 and say, so Magento 2, you'll be out of the box when you set up Warden. You will be getting Nginx, which is the web server of your local environment, Varnish for cache, of course, your PHP, MariaDB for MySQL, your database, Elasticsearch. This is a new service, different service to enhance searches. RabbitMQ. This is for queuing. Redis for database cache. I will tell you exactly, explain, or perhaps if you can follow. This is important why you need to follow YouTube channel of Scinettek Official, because I will be uploading videos discussing the detailed information of each of this information, because realistically we won't be able to cater all the Magento information in the given time that we have. So go Magento, we go to click next, and then ready. So let's dive in. So let's say if I want to create a new project on Magento, I will create a new directory. Let's say webinar store. Webinar store. Okay. And by the way, don't get intimidated with this terminal. If you're aspiring to become a developer, you'll be using this a lot. And so, especially for Unix-based operating system like Magento, like Mac or Linux. So the instruction documentation on how to set up your local environment, very straightforward. So let's say create your first directory, you enter the directory. If there are things that I cannot explain one by one, like CD, connector, you can always replay this video and can have your own search. What I'm actually showing you is the things that I've been doing on a daily basis, so you don't have to jump searching for another things. But if you do this, follow this kind of blueprint, learning other things would just follow, right? First, I didn't in PHP. I didn't usually use interface as a class, but in working Magento, I started working in it and using it a lot. And whatever kind of tools you see in my screen, following this blueprint, you will be able to learn it along the process, right? So the Warden. So this the key here. So Warden AMV in it. So we have webinar store. Then we specify Magento 2 because we're installing Magento 2. So basically what it does, it will generate a .env file containing all the configuration for your containers. And I will explain in a bit what is containers and what is Docker. So Warden, so if I check my directory, I already have one file. So let's check that file. Okay. So you see here, different kind of configuration for different containers. So by the way, Warden started 3 or 4 different services by default. And I will perhaps later, I will explain. So this basic configuration. And also, so then you need to run this one. So it's basically saying that I want to run my local environment in HTTPS or port 443 or with SSL. So we're gonna do some self-sign certificate. So Warden sign certificate. Okay. Then our webinar store that test. Okay. So it will create that PM file. So you don't have to worry about it. If you are, if you get comfortable with Magento 2, along the process, we will be able to learn it. And now, okay. So next, so Warden already created network for our project or container ready for our project. So all we need to do is to start it up in order to install those Docker, set up those Docker containers, env app -d. Make sure you're always in the root directory of your project. So seeing here that creating containers. So what is this Docker? What is this container? So containers operate on in Linux. So basically, for every application you use for Magento to run a website, like to run a website, you need a web server, which is Nginx. In our case, you need PHP as the primary language. You need database. So basically, those container, Warden creates container for everyone, for each of those service, and those container interacts to each other, talk to each other. The same if those container talks to each other to build up your web server. Basically, that is. So we don't have to discuss it. I think I can discuss it in a separate video, but for now you don't have to worry because we already have limited time. So right now, if you do Docker PS, there are a bunch of containers running in the background. That is for webinar. Then all we need to do is, we're not installing Magento yet. So if you go to search Magento 2 install, docs. Oops. Magento install cursor. Okay. All right. So this is how you install Magento. Right now, we're just simply setting up our environment to run our web server and other stuff. So let's go back to So if we go Warden shell, so it's like I'm on a different computer. So in a real project, in a real live project, a web server is like a computer out there somewhere in the hosting company that hosts your website. So for those people who get confused, what is this? Basically, how the website works is I'm using a computer. I start up the website here, but it only visible in my computer. So for you to be able to get access, Facebook.com, Facebook get hosted, okay, in a data center. A data center composed of computers that serve Facebook core file, programming files. Let's say I have um, stickado.com.ph. Stickado.com.ph is a WordPress. It's not from my the files of this is I uploaded it into a web server, a hosting company. So that's basically how it works. And right now we just created a web server only visible for our local machine. Okay. So and then we go. So in order to install Magento, you need access keys. So you go search Magento access keys. You can follow these steps. Um, so you need to log into Magento Marketplace. That's not it. So Magento Marketplace, you create an account. Um, this one, create login, sign in. Okay, sign in. Once you sign in, you go to. So let me just stop my share screen. So because I want you to see my email address. Okay. Once you log in, so this is what it looks like. You go to your profile, you click access keys, and you're allowed to generate access keys. So in this webinar, I already generated access keys. I want to show you because there are existing access keys, and this is very important because if you purchase Magento extension in the marketplace, that extension is only available for your access keys. And anyway, there are different ways to install Magento, but in our case, in real world, we will be using Composer to install Magento in order for us to manage easily the version. And if you're a web development agency and you have a project that you make changes in the vendor directory, you're doing it wrong, right? If you're a developer, you make a lot of changes in the vendor directory, you're doing it wrong. Because this is the main reason why you should use Composer, is you can always delete vendor file and rerun Composer install again, and it will download all the files. So all the changes you made in the vendor file will get lost. So let's continue. I know it's starting to get confusing, but what I'm showing you is the real deal, the real development uh, process in Magento. So all I need to do is go Composer Global. Basically, we're saying that, hey, Composer, you need to use this access keys to download Magento. This one. This is the one that I generated in the website. Okay. That's not existing square. Composer global config. Okay. Config. Basic.repo.magento.com. Okay. So now, then after that, we can run the installation process. So there's an instruction here, but if you get confused because there's some meta package, you don't have to do that. Basically, the pure installation process is just this one. Composer, create project, point to the repository of Magento. What is this repository? I think I can discuss it in a different video, and your installation directory. So I will discuss Magento. We'll create video solely for Composer, in-depth uh, a video session for Composer. So let's go. Create Composer, create project, repository URL. That's yes, repo.magento.com, and the meta package, which is Magento project community edition. We're using the open source, and the directory, which is the webinar store, and we have the version. So the latest version is 2.4. You can leave it and enter, and it will automatically download the latest version of Magento. But for this, let's just try to say 2.3.4. Not sure if that's available. Let's just take a look. 2.3.4. Yeah, I think it's available. Just do that. Right, so basically what it's doing is trying to download the necessary files from Magento's repository. The core files of Magento is basically, if you're in WordPress, it's the same as downloading the files of WordPress in your local machine. So this is basically what it's doing right now. So it's gonna take a while, but to use our time, not to wait, let's discuss the file structure of Magento. It's already 11:23. I'm going to make it. So I'm using PHP Storm as my IDE. So there are a lot of IDE out there, but since Magento is in PHP, I use this one, and it is very useful to trace objects, trace code. So this is what I say in that Magento is now WordPress, but you can easily trace or track the code, investigate easily. Magento is starting to get confusing, right? So we just open some projects here. Show you exactly what are the files of Magento. So this is Magento out of the box. Right? So there are a lot of files, but I would like to point you to file. Point you in some folder. So vendor is when you run Composer install. This is the folder that pulled from the Magento's repository. So you don't have to make any changes. So Magento has its golden rule since Magento 1, which is do not change core files, right? That is the golden rule of Magento. So if you delete this one and run Composer install, it will just download it and available for you. So also want to point out in this app directory, so there are two ways to install a module in Magento. Once you add in vendor folder using Composer to install an existing extension out there, and also you can add your module here in app code directory. So, and I would like to point out this etc folder. It contains all the for config file. It contains all the existing module in the system. It also contains the configuration, like database connection, what are the services that we use, caching, URL, and all that kind of stuff. So for now, let's just focus on this file. And also we have bin directory, which contains all the PHP command. Oops, what happens? So four. Okay. Hold on a second. So, so aside from I don't want to use Magento release version because it contains tooth A, or, and there will be a lot of configuration. So you don't need to do that. We can discuss it in a different video. So alright, so let's continue with knowing the file. So when you use Magento, you'll be executing a lot of CLI command like Magento setup, Magento clear cache, or reindex, or creating admin user. That happens all in CLI. So you need to get familiar, but you need to memorize all the commands. From time to time, you'll be able to get familiarized in it. So it's like getting to know your new phone or something like that. So design, this contains all the theme of your project. So here we use Stickeroo, Navalkabe. So Magento can provide multiple theme for every page, or either primary theme. So that happens in here. And a theme only requires, I think, 2 files. That's registration and a theme XML file. And for a module, it only requires 2 files, registration.php and module.xml. So what happened was yeah, that's right. Stickeroo, EDC, module.xml. So registration. So those are the necessary files in order to create a module in Magento 2. And it's about 30 minutes. You should be able to run a working Magento 2, but I will tell you exactly what happens when you run a Warden. And other thing to consider: best practices of Magento. Plugins. Let me just fix this one first. So this is my existing project, Navalkabe. It equips with different services. Like I use Rubo to automate the process of starting up my local environment. So if in Warden you see a bunch of commands, I create a Rubo file, because Magento equipped with a Rubo file to execute series of commands in just one command. So if you notice, when I start my project, I just run one single command and that's it. So for one single command, I run a Warden up. Let's try to start up a Warden. Let's try to start up the containers for my project. It copies some stuff and restart Warden. So Robo is very useful if if you're working in Magento or in another project, if you want to automate a certain process. So shell. So this is the select command which in Magento. 2 to 3 to 4, and then just now I 2 to 3 to 4. Oops. Loads from cache. So the good thing in running Warden, Dockerize your Magento project is I can run different kind of project one at a time. I mean, and not one at a time, simultaneously, right? So I run the valkabay.com. So earlier, before I prepare some demo Magento Sunny store. I can easily follow the file. So Warden AMP app. So that's the command. So it starts up the Magento projects that I set up earlier. So it runs different instance of Mailhug, different instance of PHP, different instance of Nginx. So, and there are two different containers of Nginx or PHP running in my computer right now. So if I have two different projects in my local machine, I can configure one project to use a different version of PHP or Nginx, one project to use different version of Nginx or PHP or other services. So that's the main advantage of using Warden or Dockerize your Magento project. So that's it. It's we're running. So if I go to Scinettek app, that Scinettek store. Okay, so this is Magento. So let's just wait. We'll just explain to you how I came up with this. But this is the process. First, you install the 30 minutes. All right. Okay. Then, all right, we're out of time. Just wait. Just give me more time. So this is Magento after you install it. All right, and also after you install sample data. So you can install Magento without any data, and you have every option to install Magento with sample data. So these are the sample data Magento. So from the installation itself, you have a perfectly running, good to go e-commerce website for your business. You can go add to cart. You can go proceed, check out. So let's just wait. Say, right, there we go. From cache, doing from cache. It's let's wait for a bit. So in the back end, this is what Magento looks like. So before I use Docker with Mac, I use Docker. The regular without using Warden or Mutagen. Using Docker with Magento in Mac, it is very slow because of the volume.
Oh.
Now we have the solution called Mutagen, which actually create a session, mutagen.io. uh, to make volume mapping a lot faster. So if you notice, Magento, I get app Scinettek. So if you install Magento in LAMP or in Windows, it really slow. That's the most common problem out there. But if you notice here, it's just like um, running a simple static HTML page. It's really fast. So that's the main advantage of using necessary tools to set up Magento. So this is what it looks like, Magento in the backend. So you can add your product, you can manage products, products. So for business owner out there, um, Magento is a digital commerce solution for you. Products, you have sales. We didn't have the other sales. Yes, you can manage different kind of products. You can manage your customers. You can manage your sales, invoice, shipments, billing, transactions, reports, stores, configuration, all that kind of stuff. All built in from Magento open source. So I understand that the installation process gets complicated. This is a required step, because if you just follow the dev docs of Magento, um, their goal is to simply let you know on how to install it, but preparing your project uh, for for a development workflow or right development process, uh, DevBug does not discuss that. So that's why I'm showing you to use Warden, all the kind of stuff. So right now, we already have installed or downloaded all the necessary files of Magento. And the next step is, so right now it's still in TMP, which I specified earlier. So I need to copy that one in our current directory, root directory, webinar, var, HTML, var, So basically what you're doing is from TMP webinar store, it copying all the downloaded files and paste it into var www.html, which is our root directory. So when you visit a domain, that's how Nginx determine what files to execute or what files to load. So now we already have the files. All we need to do is just remove this one. Um, the installation process. So if we go to now, we need to install, we need to set necessary configuration from Magento. We need to specify which database, which cache, which Redis, which Elasticsearch to use. What would be the URL of our project? So this is how you do it. Just simply copy this one and add PHP, because the reason is that PHP is the CLI command, is a command, but and basically what we're trying to say is you go to bin directory and execute this Magento executable file. So that's how you do it. So if you go php bin Magento, it will tell you exactly what are the available commands you can use. This is Magento CLI, so you can use this to install Magento. I think this one, go search engine. So yeah, so since we are in 2.3.4, it's not yet available. Oops. So let's remove all of this search engine because we don't need this. So we can have, let's say, search. Let's remove this one. And so it now sets. So basically what it does, it creates file here in app etc in with that PHP, which is the configuration file of all in your system, in your Magento system. So that's what we're doing. Probably about 10 minutes for the QA. Now create this, right? And then okay. We do need to wait for this one. Yeah, we can actually create a new terminal, the Warden shell, and you can execute this command. Basically, what it does is you're trying to specify what would be the URL. Oh yeah, so PHP bin Magento config set black env. This argument basically saying that you need this configuration to be saved in the env.php file, because without that it will only save in the database. So web and secure base URL, then your URL https let's say app.webinar sort that test, and this is for unsecure base URL. So if you try to oops, Magento allows you to run your Magento instance from non-HTTPS, which is unsecure. It runs in only a pure 8080 port. And also the configuration for you to run uh, secure URL. So if you notice website like HTTPS or something like this, so this is the secure one. So if you see website like only HTTP, those are unsecured website. So then all we need to do is copy everything else to fast track whatever you're doing. Sign. All right. Development mode, I would like to discuss it because this is very important. So there are 3 development mode in Magento. One is the default, one is the developer, and one is the production. The advantage of the default is just the main mode when you set up Magento. But you need, if you're working in a local environment, you need to switch to developer mode. And if you want to push your Magento project live, you have to set it to production mode. This way, you don't have to see errors if there are any errors in live, because you don't want people to see your website having problem in the back end. So if you do this app, push with an window, deploy mode show. Right now we're in default, so which needs to change to deploy mode set developer. Now we're in developer mode. Okay, then we just need to disable. We don't need to disable some cache. Just grab reindex. In a separate video, I will tell you exactly what is AEV, what is Indexer, what they do, why it is very important in Magento 2, but we don't have time. So, all right, that's it. Again, So right now we will be able to see, hopefully, our website app that webinar store, our store that test. At first, it's a bit slow because it's trying to compile everything at first load. It will try to build cache. It will try to build XML tree. So this is a fresh installation of Magento 2 without the sample data. So, however, if you refresh it again with all the cache and all stuff, it's really, really fast. So to install the sample data, you can go which within Magento. I think it's set up. Magento. So you can always use DevDocs reference to if you want to try something. So let's say sample data. Yeah. So which will be Magento sample data. Right. So we're gonna download all the products, sample data, images, and all that kind of stuff. So still we need the case here as a username, password, and that, and we'll try to download and set up it for you. Right. So the first kind of that is this Scinettek app that Scinettek sort and test. So this is Magento. Um, this is the back end. This is the front end. This is the back end. So that's it. I'm kind of wishing to explain more about best practices and projects and service contract. It's very, very important in Magento 2 development. So, but we don't have time. I would like to invite you again in our YouTube channel, Scinettek Official. Don't get confused with the Scinettek channel that already exists. The channel official is the name is Scinettek League Official, or yeah, Scinettek Official. Basanay Official in it, right? So make sure to follow the one. I will upload a great new video, in-depth discussion of necessary things for Magento, how Magento was built, how it compiles, what happened in the background, what is XML, how it compiles, how static contents are being built, all that kind of stuff. We cannot do that in very, very, very short period of time, but I will dedicate myself to create new content in our YouTube channel. So be sure to subscribe. And so I think that's it. So that is Magento 2, ladies and gentlemen. So I am free now to answer some questions.
You can learn Magento in just 1 month, sir. Tama ba? Wow, 6 digits.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If you already have experience in programming, let's say you're the developer, but working on a different platform or framework, with a proper guide, if you're not into, if you go Google University, use Google University. If you use YouTube University, it will take time, of course, because there are a lot of information and there are a lot of things you need to consider. But if there's a proper guide, what to tell you exactly what to learn first, and what's the next step to learn, and what are the tools that need to use. So, as I was saying, if you have a blueprint or guide to learn Magento, and if you have experience in programming, 1 month you will be able to learn and appreciate. Absolutely, I'm sure of it. You will be able to appreciate the file structure, the framework of Magento 2.
Okay, so we will move on for questions nato nag-post earlier. So the first one is from GR Abadies. Ang question is, sir, is it highly recommended to use Magento on Unix, Linux, or Mac platform and not on Windows?
All right. It is personally, I recommend running Magento if you're into developing Magento in Mac, or if you're just using Magento in a store, it's okay, whatever operating system you use. But if you're a developer, or you set up a local environment, or you're working on a project, I prefer to use Mac, because Mac and Linux are all Unix-based operating system, and most server out there are built with Unix-based operating system. So um, if you're working with Mac or in Linux, you're basically almost working in your production server. So in Windows, there are some solutions like what I said. There's the available Valley Plus, which is very close to what I'm doing. It includes Redis, it includes Varnish and all the kind of stuff, but not all the necessary tools. I'm not sure. I wasn't able to spend a lot of time on Valley and Windows, but I do know a lot of people in Stickado. Are in our team. We have several people who are working in Windows, and we find out that there's a Valley Plus version of it for Windows users. So you can still do some Magento development in Windows environment using Valley Plus Windows. So that's a keyword.
I hope that answered your question, Sir GR. The next one from Jose Ruben Cagula. What other programming languages can be used in Magento aside from PHP?
Well, there's JavaScript, um, and you can JavaScript for tools, automation, and process. Use Ruby, Gym, and what else? What was that? Let me just tools. Um, I don't know if Capistrano is a language, but yeah, if you let me just go and yes, quick search Capistrano. Uh, so you can use Capistrano. I'm not sure if this is a language, but I use it for automation for deployment process. So from my local environment to production without no downtime. So in Magento, you need to when you push changes to the production, it requires you to run necessary command in the CLI, and that causes some downtime in your life, and you don't want to do that. You don't want your customers to see that. So Capistrano, I think it's Ruby or Jim. I'm not sure. I forgot the language we use, but I use some script from Capistrano to automate the deployment process. So aside from PHP, we have JavaScript, we have Capistrano, we have yeah, I think yeah, I think that's all.
Okay. So I hope na answer ang question ni Mr. Jose. If you have follow-up questions, you can still comment. The next one from Arwin. Back-end po ba tong Magento?
Well, in Magento, there's backend, front end, and development. So personally, I work solely. So I narrowed down my market into Magento, and again, I narrowed down to work only as backend engineer. So I don't do front end development. So the good advantage of that is I can always, if there's a problem in the client in Upwork, I can always tell, hey, I need 2 hours. Let's say I have $30 per hour. I get 2 hours to investigate this problem, and I can get back to you and provide another hours or solution to that problem. So that is very um, a good business. What do you call this one? A pitch strategy for you to for your client. But um, when you say backend, there's backend development, there's front development. So I don't know what you mean by backend.
So the next question from Sergio again. Is Magento like a package or library on Python? Is it intended only for e-commerce projects?
Yes, it is intended for e-commerce project, but you can build using its strong framework. You can build a different kind of application out of it. And for the first question is yes, Magento. That's why we use Composer, so you can just download um, um, files. But in Python, there's a um, different package manager. In Magento, in PHP, in general, we use Composer as the package manager. So Magento is composed of series of packages. So if you can share my screen really quick. So go to vendor. These are the packages downloaded by from different not necessarily. These are the packages required for Magento to run. The only files of Magento like is this folder. Whatever you see here, um, Magento company uses this one to develop. But other than that, like MageFan, we have Robo. Robo itself is not solely for Magento. So Magento uses Zen framework as for starter, and we have Symfony also. And Elastic is not also solely for Magento. So uh, yes, Magento is composed of. Magento is not a package of PHP. Magento is a platform built by different series of packages, including the Magento package itself. So yes, that's it.
Okay, so the next question is from Jezreel Rudella. Is there a replay for this?
Yes, so keep in touch sa among Facebook page. Once we were able to upload this video sa among YouTube channel, this will be available. You will be able to replay it. So that's why it is very important you follow that Scinettek league page. And also, if you're able to see Magento Scinettek official on YouTube, subscribe and hit that bell button so you get notified for every content we upload.
All right. So the next one, how is how is Magento related to WordPress or its differences?
Well, we can relate Magento to WordPress in terms of CMS and also in e-commerce because WordPress has WooCommerce. But both of them has seamless features, but they are different platforms. WordPress was solely built originally for blog purposes, and due to its plugin features, people can extend it, scale it into different application like e-commerce, like event management, like or other stuff, or like calendar or stuff. So while Magento originally it is built solely originally for e-commerce, right? And Magento is WordPress is for blog, and I think that is the main difference from them. And WordPress without WooCommerce, that's totally different from Magento. But WordPress with WooCommerce is very close. Right?
Next question is from Mr. Ruben Kagula again. Can we download Magento 2 in Windows for free?
Yes, not necessarily. Regardless of what kind of operating system you use, Magento has a community edition, which is the open source version of Magento. It has a GitHub repository where you can see all the pull requests from other people or issues in the open source. Also, it equipped with Enterprise Edition, which is the premium part of Magento, and also it has cloud-based version of it. So yes, regardless of your operating system, you can download Magento for free. Well, if you're trying to say you can install Magento as an app in your phone, like the actual files or the actual source of Magento, you can't because Magento is for. However, there's an app version of Magento. Let's say I have an existing website, I can create app, Android app or iOS app out of it as a finished product, not a development product. Okay, so I think that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so I hope Miss Jackaloo, you're able to hear out Sir Eric's answer. The next one is from Sir Ian Magallanes. This one. Can Magento create or develop any program?
Well, program is more like small things. But what if you're referring to if Magento can use to build a different system? Yes, right. You can use Magento as a backend. You know how app works. You know how this apps in your phone works. So every apps in your phone has a backend environment. So that app is just a front end environment available in here. But every time you use that app, it communicates to the backend. And in that kind of scenario, you can use Magento as the backend, the API source, the API endpoint of your front end application like PWA, iOS app, Android app, Electros.js, and all the guys.
Oh, wait. We have another question here from Sir Ralph Caballero. Good noon. I'm planning to have my online store. As a business owner, what are benefits that we could get in building Magento store than those other e-commerce platform available? As you said, Magento store is more of a complex structure than the other e-commerce like Shopify or WooCommerce. I would like to build my store with myself. What will be the issues and concern that I'll encounter moving forward? Thank you,
Sir
sir.
Ralph really giving me a hard time. Hello, sir. Sir Ralph is my instructor in college. Well, as I mentioned, compared to other platform, it start with Magento over Shopify. There's a flexibility. There's a limited configuration in Shopify that you can do or you can create in Magento too. Other thing is scalability. Like if you want to enhance Magento or um, um, create integrate it into other platform, like create an app and use Magento as a backend, create a PWA out of it. You cannot do that in Shopify because Shopify is not open source. And other thing is like B2B. Like if you want to expand your business, let's say for instance, you have another different kind of warehouse and you want your shipping fees to be calculated based on the location of the customer and location of the warehouse of a particular product. Uh, you cannot do that in Shopify. Those kind of business data, you cannot do that. But in Magento, you can do that. But compared to WordPress, as I said, it's more of a developer preference. There's no benchmark out there that say that Magento is way better than WordPress, but um, I've seen a lot of posts in Upwork or people looking to developer to upgrade or migrate WordPress to Magento. And fundamentally speaking, Magento is built again solely for e-commerce originally, and WordPress is not. So as a developer, I know, sorry, developer Magang, the solution, the database structure of WordPress, the metadata, I don't think that's um, in a larger scale. I don't think it's able to cater 100,000 SKUs, a huge amount of sales, so a huge amount of transaction daily. So again, there's no actual benchmark, but using the AV database structure of Magento 2, that is very, very much possible. The flexibility, to cater different kind of products. Uh, that's the edge of Magento over other platforms. There are other platforms like um, um, e-commerce and other kinds of. I haven't tried them, so fundamentally speaking, in a developer point of view, I prefer choose Magento. And for developer point of view, the development structure. So if you want to develop, let's say you said that you want to develop, compare Magento modular structure and deployment process, versioning system uh, compared to WordPress, right? WooCommerce is already a plugin of WordPress, and WooCommerce is not compared to Magento. There's the file structure is inexperienced. Magento has the edge, has the advantage of for developers, of course. Yeah. So if you're building a small store like most people does, I would say I would like you to consider first if you have bigger plans in the future, because if you're just doing drop shipping, you better go you better off with WordPress or Shopify. But if you have a store, if you have a business that could have branch out into different location, or can do business to business transaction, um, you might, if you use WordPress from the very start, you might end up wasting a lot of years using WordPress, but finding out that at the end of the day, you need to migrate into a larger scale that capable of scaling your project, scaling your system. So if you're using WordPress or Shopify for 5 years, and after 5 years, you can say Shopify cannot cater my customization anymore. So that becomes a problem. Migration uh, become a problem. Transition, training, and all that kind of stuff become a problem. So, but still, there's a solution out there. But what I'm trying to say is, if you start to build, if you're planning to build a building, why not use a platform that's really good? It's a really good foundation. So that's.
All right, so we have another question from Sir Lorenzo Cagula. Can Magento integrate JavaScript framework for backend such as MongoDB, Express, and Node?
Well, if you're planning to create a PWA and you use Magento's GraphQL as your endpoint, my recommendation is, yes, you create an Express app that will serve as a middleman. You can use whatever database you want, because you don't want to expose Magento's admin keys to the front end app. So so if I have a case like I have a Magento store and client wants to set up a PWA project or an Android app, so the endpoints will come from Magento, but it will still communicate to a middleware built with Express.js running Node, um, in order to hide those necessary things needed to hide. So, yes, that's very much possible. But to use MongoDB to run Magento, it's not possible.
I guess this is the end of our first webinar series. Thank you, Sir Eric, for your inputs. Imagine if you want to earn 6-digit monthly, so nindot jud sa learn, although I guess this is good for on this is best to learn for na mga programming experience, sir, na? Okay, so thank you guys. Bye.